Please join us in prayer. Dear God, thank you that we could come together this evening to celebrate our graduation from RVA. Thank you for being with us throughout our elementary years and for helping us to get to this day. Also, thank you for bringing our families and guests here safely to support us as we graduate. Bless our graduation ceremony, and I pray that you will go with my classmates and me as we move on to high school. Amen.
We are so glad that you are here this evening. And on behalf of the Rogue Valley Adventist Academy 8th grade class of 2025, we would like to welcome you to our graduation ceremony. We know this is a busy time of the year, and so we thank you for taking time this evening to share this momentous occasion with us.
A few of you have traveled long distances to be here. We really appreciate those family members who have done so to support us as we graduate. Thanks also to our current and former teachers for being here tonight. It means a lot to have your support of our accomplishments. Welcome, and we are all glad you're here.
This year, our class selected a motto and Bible verse that speak to who we are right now and who we hope to be in the future. Our motto is short and sweet, and it reads, "There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure."
Our Bible verse today goes along with our motto because we know God will help us along with our journey. The verse we chose is Jeremiah 29. It reads, 29:11. It reads, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future."
At this point in the program, our students will thank their families for helping them reach this important milestone in their lives. The students work hard to prepare and record parent and family tributes, which were edited to play along with the slideshow of the graduates' baby photos. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy this special trip down memory lane.
Mom and Dad, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart today. I know you guys remember when I first crashed my little penny board. I may have been laughing, but Mom, the look on your face was pure concern and worry. You took me home to Dad, despite the fact that I still wanted to ride. Dad, when we got home, you immediately started caring for me, wrapping my muscle-deep wound and telling me I'll be okay, even if walking was a difficulty. I will never forget how much you guys cared for me that week. Now, I'm about to graduate. I've survived small accidents, losses, and even middle school. I'm so grateful for everything my family has done for me to get me to this point. Natalia, I didn't forget you. I'm so thankful for you too. I know we aren't as close as we used to be, but I know I can still count on you. Thank you for all the gifts you have given me, even though they weren't necessary. I love you. And Mom and Dad, I'm so glad I had you guys by my side the whole way. I couldn't have done it without you. I never really say how much I appreciate you guys and your sacrifices. Thank you for always being patient with me and my teenage attitude. Even though I know it's hard not to lash out, you guys do amazing. Thank you especially for teaching me so young. Thank you for teaching me to read, then letting me read to you. Thank you for teaching me math, even though I really didn't want you to. Thank you for getting me a phone and dogs, even though I didn't deserve them. Thank you for being examples of what to do and what not. I pay more attention than you know. I love you guys.
Mom, Dad, Brittany, and Billy, throughout my whole life, you guys have been here for me, to support me and love me. Even though I have step-parents and real parents, I still love you guys all the same. Even though nothing is perfect, I really truly think all four of my parents are perfect in my life. You guys have pushed me to do what makes me happy and to be the best version of myself possible. I remember my last birthday when all 4 of you guys worked together to make my birthday special. Brittany, I've known you since I was 4 years old. You have shown me much love and treated me like your own. You take me places, buy me things, and hang out with me. You've been here for me through everything and support my choices no matter what. I'm so glad I have you as my bonus mom. Thank you for sticking up for me and taking care of the family. Billy, you're the best bonus dad I could ever ask for. You only do what's best for me. You support my decisions, choices, and feelings. And I really do appreciate it. Even though we butt heads and don't get along sometimes, you always make sure to apologize after and comfort me. Thank you for caring for me and loving me, and thank you for putting me first and my siblings first before anything else. To my siblings, you guys have been here for me and always put a smile on my face when I'm upset. Stella, when you come in my room and talk and comfort me and when I'm upset, makes me so happy. Colby, you always know how to make me laugh and keep me entertained. Cameron, even though you're always in your room, you're still one of the funniest siblings I have. Dawson and Tristan, each were the sweetest little girls ever, and I'm so glad I have you guys as my sisters. Dad, I know I'm distant at times and moody all the time, but I promise it's out of love. I love spending time with you and Cameron, going on hikes, going to lunch, and even going to the market. Each moment I have with you is so special. You always know how to make me people laugh and smile with your dad jokes. You always push me to do things I love and get better. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for everything and making me laugh, smile whenever I'm in a bad mood. And finally, Mom, even though I'm rude to you and disrespectful, that does not change the fact of how much I love you, and I'm sorry. You've been with me through my hard times and good times, throughout every birthday and holiday. You've always made everything special. You stay strong through the hardest times in your life and always know to put a smile on your face and make everyone else happy. Just remember everything will be okay in the end. Thanks again.
Over these past few years, I'd like to say it's been easy, but unfortunately, that's not true. To get where I am now, it took a lot of help from my entire family, not just my mom and dad. When I first started struggling, I was in about 4th grade. My grandma would come over and teach me over the summer. When I inevitably would complain, my grandpa would straighten me up. Even though it was hard not just for me, my grandparents would never get mad and be patient. In fact, my grandparents have been in my life for as long as I can remember. One of my earliest memories is in my granddad's and grandma's house, playing with their dog Judge. We would play until my granddad would tell us to stop, and then we would lay together until I had to go home. When I started to get older, I discovered my love for soccer. When I was about 6, it was the only thing I would play at recess or during the weekend. My first season of soccer, I don't think we won a single game, but despite that, I never gave up because every game I saw my family cheering for me. When I got older and needed help with spelling or multiplication, my mom made flashcards and sat with me for hours helping me figure everything out. Even though she was probably the busiest of all, but when my mom was at work, my brother Holden would help me. Even though he had probably 2 to 3 times as much work as me, he would help me the best he could. He would write stuff down and go step by step. If we ever got stuck, my dad would help, and sometimes we would have the entire family working on one homework question. One of the best things about my dad is he is a really good hands-on worker. If my brother and I ever wanted to make something, he would do his best to make it happen. Every person in my family has impacted my life and made it 10 times easier. I couldn't be happier. Thank you all to my family.
Mom and Dad, there's so much to thank you for. Do you remember when I tripped and hit my head on the asphalt? You were both there with me the whole time. Even in the emergency room, you sat with me to make sure I was okay. I remember how worried you were about me until I said I was fine. I knew you cared for me and didn't want harm to come to me. As I've matured, I've dealt with many hardships, physical and psychological. Today is a very special and important milestone in my life. Reaching this point is something I couldn't have done without you. I'm very thankful you gave me a Christian education and brought me to this Adventist school. Thank you for putting up with me over the years. Thank you for teaching me how to skate and ride dirt bikes. Thank you for all the books you've given me. Thank you for my pets. Thank you for always encouraging me to do my best. And thank you for a home and your love. And Marley, thank you for being my sister. I love you all.
As we come close to the end of the school year 2025, I reflect on the amazing journey we've had leading up to this day. We think back on how amazing our God has been, and we look forward to how awesome He will continue to be. We are surely nothing without Him. He has blessed me with all many cherishing moments and with so many families and friends. I humbly thank Him and forever praise Him for your guidance and unwavering love upon me. Greetings and talofa, everyone. My name is Nathaniel Wasi. I'd like to thank my teachers for always being their help for me and helping me for everything you've done. I would like to thank all my aunties and uncles for coming out. I would like to thank Uncle Daniel for being there for me. I remembered that one time I threw up so much because I ate a lot of cotton candy, and you kept taking care of me and never stopped till my dad got there and took me to the ER. I would like to thank Auntie Lingy for always bringing the fun and every time I slept over. Thank you. I would like to thank my Uncle Alex for being there when I was a little kid. I remember when you took me and my siblings to school and bought us tablets. Thank you, Uncle Alex. I would like to thank my Auntie Lily for letting me and my siblings hang out with Julio. We would always fight over turns over Fortnite. Good memories. I would like to thank all my cousins for hanging out with me and bonding all those times we had each other. I would like to thank all my siblings, Noah, Nia, Naomi, Namaya, Naaman, and Nahum, for being there for me. Going to California, with those memories we made, we shall make more. I would like to thank my grandparents for always being there since day one. You guys meant a lot to me. Thank you. I would like to thank my mom for always being there for me. She would always be there for me, checking and feeding me and keeping me clean whenever my dad was at work. She would always push me to clean up. My memories made with my mom was when she taught me how to write, talk, and do everything that I'm doing. Thank you, Mom. I would like to thank my father. Dad, you have always been good to me whenever I was that. You would always be there when I was going through tough times. You were there to talk, and my favorite memory made of us when we were swimming and you taught me how to swim. That's why I always love swimming. Thank you, Dad. I would like to thank all my family and friends for coming out. I love you guys.
Thank you to Mom and Dad for always being there. Mom, thank you for teaching me how to read. Even though I hated it, you still made me practice. I am so grateful that you did. Now that I can read books that are 1,000 pages long, thank you for taking care of me when I was sick. Thank you for teaching me how to cook, sew, use your camera, paint, and draw. Thank you so much. I love you. Dad, thank you for teaching me how to play the violin, the saxophone, and all the other instruments. Thank you for teaching me how to use the 3D printer, the resin printer, and teaching me how to use epoxy resin, even though it was a little bit hard at first. Thank you for introducing me to audiobooks, because now I can finish books twice as fast as I can by reading books, by listening to books at 3.5 speed. Thank you so much. I love you. Grandpa, thank you for sharpening my knives. I always look forward to it when I come to your house. Grandma, thank you for all the yummy food you have given my brother and I over the years. Thank you for teaching me how to cook. Dante, oh, I'm guessing you thought I would forget about you. No. Thank you for making me happy when I'm having a really bad day. Thank you for letting me follow you around when I have no one to hang out with, and annoying you until you shut me out of your room at times. I'm so happy to have all these people in my life. Thank you for supporting me through these years and years to come.
Dear Mom and Stepdad, I want to take this time to thank you for how you have molded me over the years. I appreciate the countless hours you have spent with me, helping me with my education. From homework assignments to posters and presentations, I feel that you have always been there for me. I now can completely understand why you suggested moving out of the public school systems and into the Adventist private school. The smaller class sizes have been a positive experience, as there have not been as many distractions compared to my other school. This change has given me the chance to focus more on my studies. In addition, you have always encouraged me to push myself and try new things. I used to dislike skiing. I never wanted to ski, but then after being forced into it, I found myself enjoying the experience. Skiing is now one of my favorite outside activities. I've grown to appreciate other activities we have done over the years. These activities include traveling down to California, cruises into Mexico, traveling to Hawaii, and my parents taking the boat out onto Lake Shasta. One of the best experiences I had was when I went to Lake Shasta during the summer. My stepdad had a bunch of his friends over, and while I was going swimming, my stepdad decided to get this tube ready. It was a memorable time, seeing people fall off the tube. Then I decided I wanted to go on the tube by myself, because I thought it'd be fun. But that was a bad mistake, as my dad decided to go whiplash on me, which made me catch some air, and then I fell off. Luckily, I was okay. I really also appreciate the fact that my stepdad always decides to talk to me when I'm in a bad mood. I just also gotta talk about my mom, who always has food ready when I get home, which cheers me up a little bit. There's one last thing I want to thank my parents for, and that's making me more social. All I used to do was read books during the school day. Now I actually play and do stuff like basketball. I'm definitely way more social than I was a year ago. Looking back, maybe forcing me into activities was always a good thing. Thank you for everything you have done for me.
This year, we were able to completely cover each of the students' fees for our class trip. A couple of parents made this possible, everyone by constantly picking up pizza for our class to sell on Fridays. These people were Mrs. Colson, Mrs. Blurton, Mrs. Lewin. Would you please stand? We got you all a gift card to Donut Country for being sweet and supporting our class. We couldn't have done it without you. Our sponsors. Let's give these sponsors a round of applause.
This year, we were lucky enough to go to the Washington Family Ranch for our 8th grade class trip. They had so many activities for us to enjoy, including swimming, daily worships, rock climbing, massive basketball courts, a giant swing, and even a go-kart track. We all had a wonderful time, and we know none of this fun would have been possible without our wonderful class trip sponsors. Mrs. McCombs and Mr. Hussey, would you please stand?
Seventh-day Adventist youth camps have been impacting souls for Christ for several decades. Many of you have probably attended at some time or another and been impacted. I know my girls, each one of them, many have, of course, stated that they dedicate their lives to the Lord, maybe publicly through baptism at youth camps. We are fortunate in the Oregon Conference to have Big Lake Youth Camp, which is one of the foremost of the Adventist camps in the North American Division. Last year, Big Lake decided to come up with a new award, which is given to an 8th grader at each of our K-12 or K-8 schools in the Oregon Conference. So this is called the Big Lake Spirit Award. Value is about $700. Camp is expensive. I know when I was a kid, it was like $100, but that was a long time ago. So let me read to you the script that is supposed to be read, and then we will announce the winner for this year. So the following student exemplifies a spirit of kindness and love and is selected as this year's Spirit of Big Lake Award. The vision of Big Lake is that everyone that visits will experience a love so compelling that they will spend the rest of their lives pursuing its source. The selection of this candidate must be a graduating 8th grader, which I certify that each of these are, embraces adventure, and is recommended by the school as exemplifying the spirit of Big Lake. This year's recipient is none other than Ginger McCombs.
Tonight we are excited to introduce our speaker. It is his 5th year teaching at RVAA. His teacher grew up in Auburn, Washington, and attended the Auburn Academy. This is also where he met his wife, Sophia. Later, he would attend Walla Walla University. He and Sophia now have 2 kids, Damien, born at the beginning of 2023, and his newest addition to the family, Carter, who was born in February this year. His favorite hobbies are sports, specifically golfing. This speaker says his favorite part about teaching is building relationships with the student. This is reflected in how much the students appreciate him. Our class wanted this teacher to speak for us because we appreciate his patience, kindness, and the ability to help us even with our questions. With a large round of applause, please welcome our speaker, Mr. Cook.
Thank you, Braden, for that lovely introduction. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, graduates. Lovely to see you here. Who would have thought? My name is Jared Cook, and this year I had the privilege of teaching these fine young people math. I was slightly surprised when I got the ask, simply because math doesn't tend to be at like the top of the list in terms of students' favorite classes, but they're just so good at math that I know that that's really what was behind it, so. I feel extremely privileged to be the commencement speaker for this class this evening. This is a really fun, entertaining group of young people, and I am honored to hopefully impart some sort of knowledge or wisdom to them as they head to high school. I would like to begin by extending a heartfelt congratulations to each one of you. Congratulations on graduating from 8th grade, leaving middle school behind, and moving on to high school. I know I speak for all your teachers when I say that we are proud of each and every one of you. This class has chosen Jeremiah 29:11 as their class verse. It states, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." This is definitely a very appropriate verse for this occasion, considering we are moving on to future endeavors. You students are stepping into a new chapter of your lives. This transition can be really, really exciting for some people, and for others, maybe not so much. The words found in Jeremiah can be a comforting reminder that God has a plan and a purpose for each one of you. Although Jeremiah 29:11 paints a super hopeful picture about, rosy things to come, most of Jeremiah is kind of depressing. Jeremiah was God's prophet to Judah during one of the most tumultuous times of the Old Testament. He served as a prophet during the reign of the last 5 kings of Judah. Of those 5, only one of them, Josiah, who was the first king during Jeremiah's term of service, was a good king. The rest of them were wicked men who rejected God's will. So not only were these kings that he was, serving under, so to speak, wicked men, but Jeremiah was literally physically harmed and attacked. His own townspeople plotted to kill him. He was attacked by a mob. He was threatened by the king, whose princes then went ahead and arrested and beat him. And then to top it all off, he was thrown into a deep, empty well. That's the specific, term, deep, empty well. That's some rough stuff, but at least his messages were super hopeful, right? Not so much. Most of Jeremiah's time was spent asking Judah to turn away from what they were doing and then telling them that, hey, you are going to be taken over by the Babylonians. He would give prophecies about other nations as well, but when it came to Judah, it was always about how it was going to be destroyed. Not the rosiest stuff, necessarily. All that being said, from time to time, Jeremiah does come around with messages of hope. For example, your guys' class verse. In addition, we have Jeremiah 31:4, which states, I will build you up again, and you, Israel, will be rebuilt. Again, you will take up your timbrels and go out to dance with the joyful. So even though there were tough times ahead for Judah, God had a plan to rebuild them. There was going to be good ahead. Okay, so that was kind of your class verse. Your class motto that you chose was a quote by Colin Powell. Colin Powell served as the first African-American Secretary of State under George W. Bush's administration. Powell had previously served in the Army and during the Vietnam War, and he rose to a 4-star general, which is currently the highest rank available in the U.S. Army. In addition, he created the Powell Doctrine, which basically is a series of questions that has to be posed and answered before military action is taken. This ensures that every political, economic, and diplomatical measure to solve the issue has been exhausted, and it basically saves lives, so kind of important. This doctrine is still used today to determine whether the U.S. will take military action. The precise quote that you guys chose was, there are no secrets to success. It's the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. These are some very wise words from Mr. Powell. These words are clearly based on his own personal experiences. Colin Powell was born in Harlem, New York, to Jamaican immigrants Luther and Maud Powell. His father was a shipping clerk and his mother was a seamstress, both good blue-collar jobs. They valued hard work, discipline, and education. Powell attended public school in New York City, and he described himself as an average student. One of his quotes about his educational experience was, I wasn't a terribly good student, I just kind of floated through. Which, of course, none of you guys are. Powell graduated from Morris High School in the Bronx and enrolled at the City College of New York. It was there that he discovered the Reserve Officers Training Corps, the ROTC. This was essentially the turning point of his entire life. Through the ROTC, he found structure, purpose, and leadership opportunities. He thrived in this disciplined environment, and he quickly rose in rank. Powell stated that it was only once I was in the Army that I discovered my passion and learned that I was actually good at something. As his career continued, he rose through military and government ranks during a time when Black Americans faced some serious discrimination. Just to put it in time perspective, Powell graduated college in 1958, which is right in the middle of the American Civil Rights Movement. So some tough times there. He had a long military career that included serving as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, which is the highest military position in the Department of Defense. He also served in the cabinets of both Ronald Reagan and George W. Bush. Colin Powell was not born into power or prestige. He was not academically gifted. He wasn't really special in any way, shape, or form that can be measured tactilely. However, he was still able to make an impact on the world around him because of his discipline, preparation, and persistence. There are very many impressive aspects of Colin Powell's life. However, honestly, there's one part of his experience that I would not have been able to relate to if I were up on stage with you guys right now as like an 8th grader. No, it's not the military experience or the many accolades. It's honestly the struggling in school that would have been a little bit foreign to me. Not to brag, but school, kind of a piece of cake for yours truly. Sure, I had to study, but a lot of what was required came pretty naturally. I was a straight A student all the way through high school, but there were 2 classes that I didn't really, mesh with all that much. First one was science. I've got to give some flowers to all you guys who are really good at science. Props to you. The second one was You guessed it, math. Not my jam. I know it's shocking. It's shocking because you have all experienced the greatest math teacher that teaches on South Stage Road in Medford, Oregon, you know? But it's true. It's true. Okay, I was always decent at math, but it was not one of my favorite subjects. I was a little bit slower than my peers. But when I went to college, which is, just so you guys know, just like 4 years away for these guys now. Just let that sink in for a second. Yeah, wild. When I was in college, I knew I wanted to be a history and a PE teacher. But my mom and my uncle happened to be a math teacher, convinced me, hey, if you get a math minor, you will have a job all the time. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll go for it. And at first, it was okay. But by the end of my freshman year, it was not getting so okay. In fact, I remember finishing my very last math final in college and being excited that I got a 48%. So times change. Times change a little bit. I remember when I finally convinced my mom to let me drop my math minor, I said, I don't want to ever be able to teach math, even if it does help me get a job. Nevertheless, God has a pretty funny sense of humor. The point in me telling you guys this is we do not always follow a linear path. See, math? Yeah, you got that. See you. Every person is different. For some of you guys, school is easy, but that doesn't mean that everything in life will be. This next chapter of high school will present each one of you with unique challenges and experiences. Sometimes you might feel like Jeremiah did, where everything's falling around you, nobody is listening, and it's all doom and gloom. However, it's important to remember in these times that God has a plan. These experiences are simply shaping you into the person that He intends for you to be. Next year, each one of you will begin your new high school journey, and it most likely won't feel like the most natural transition. But remember that there are no secrets to success. In fact, success is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. So, do as much as you guys can to prepare. That means, show up on time, study, do your best. Then after that, work hard. Most things in life do not come easily. Then, when you do fail, because we all will fail in some way, shape, or form, make adjustments. Success is not a linear process. It's through trial and error that we learn and we adapt. And during those trials, remember the words of Jeremiah, that God has a plan for each and every one of you. His plan is for you to prosper, to give you a hope and a future. And I know we're all excited to see what that future looks like for each one of you guys. Congratulations.
I can certify that the students before you have met the requirements for the SDA school system and Rogue Valley Adventist Academy for graduation from 8th grade. The RVAA 8th grade graduating class of 2025 will now receive their diplomas from our principal, Mr. Brad Bennett. Graduates, please rise and come forward when your name is called. Anastasia Iwana Diane Blurton. Tegan Adriana Forbes. Hayden Ryder Hussey. Braden Scott Lowen King. Nathaniel Bonoti Luesi. Ginger Adrienne McCombs. Andres Singh Reed.
Please bow your heads with me as we pray. Dear Lord, thank you for this amazing school year, for our graduation, and for all the people who came to support us. Help us all to have a good summer. In your name, praise your name. Amen.
Graduates, please rise. I now have the privilege of introducing you to the Freshman 2025 class. Here they are. And now we invite everyone to join us in celebrating the 8th grade students. Please join us for a reception in the fellowship hall where you can peruse the graduates' gift board tables and memory boards and enjoy cake and punch. Thank you so much for coming.